Awusuafo ne ahwefo e mo bia kwabade ba Unidek TV so send the ID kan obodi answer betumi emi subscribe button so no subscribe na for like na wetumi a share no wija comment was ne betumi.
You know, it's your boy Captain to the Planet. I'm here to talk to you about Unidek TV. Please subscribe to Unidek TV. Subscribe.
Once you become Caesar's wife, there is a certain benchmark around you based on your conduct. I would have wished, and this is possibly wishful thinking. There are many senior lawyers in this country, right? Many senior lawyers. Now, if you have a situation where serious allegations of this nature, the minority in parliament have entered, the NPP itself had actually had a demonstration relative to this. Then not only that, you have a situation where the immediate attorney general is your lawyer. Have you found out who is represented here before the committee? Have you found out?
Yeah, some people raised it, but I mean, we didn't get answers.
No, I mean, assuming you have my learned senior Ayiko to being her lawyer before the committee, what would be your view?
Well, it'll be different.
Do you get it? So I think strategically, I don't have the capacity to advise. You know, no, I don't have the capacity at all.
Yes, but you have an opinion.
But you see, there's a reason why you read that Bible, the verse.
Yeah.
The account, if you put in account, you are doing now who kwine, and yet are doing now so the fata. Do you get it? You are doing now who kwine, but and you need now the fata. There's a reason for that profound statement in the good book. You know, her ladyship, the Chief Justice, is a lay preacher at ICGC. I want to believe that going forward, maybe some of these things will guide how this thing is approached. It's for good reason. You see, it's not an ordinary person. If you look at our governance structure, after the president, the vice, Mr. Speaker, she comes next.
Article 57.
She comes next.
57.
It's not. Look, the events playing out is not a joke.
Well, for the respond to the disposition of others, that look, this matter has already been politicized, even though it's a purely constitutional matter. Who? We have allowed the politics of things to also get in there.
By who?
So I mean, the suspended Chief Justice going in for it's really not outside of the politics of things playing out now in this case,
let me tell you, I know the high hopes President John Mahama had in her ladyship, the Chief Justice, becoming Chief Justice. Right. I know. Okay. In fact, proud to she becoming the Chief Justice, President Mahama actually said, when Eniebua was just about, that he is very confident that the new Chief Justice who will come after Eniebua will restore.
The one they were taken out of context.
No, because that statement was made when Eniebua was just about exiting.
Yes.
And she was coming in.
And they were saying that meant that James said.
In fact, it was about,
Yes, so, but you know, they took it out of context.
It was deliberately done. They don't provide when it happened. So GM was very specific that he is so confident that with her ladyship Justice Torkornoo becoming the Chief Justice, should restore, because the Afrobarometer reports and others created an impression that there was something untoward happening with the judiciary. And so JM, then opposition leader, said, look, he is confident that with her ladyship, the Chief Justice, becoming the Chief Justice, a lot will happen. Let me also state here, even at the political committee of the party, after fake neck, one of the highest political committee of my party, the NDC, right? When her nomination came, President Mahama indicated to the minority that there shouldn't be any opposition.
Wow.
President Mahama
indicated at the political committee level that nobody should oppose her becoming Chief Justice. So if you note, unlike the Gawu, Kumsin and Co., whose appointment came to the entire floor for a vote to be taken on them, in the case of a leadership, the NDC minority in parliament, because it was just a minority of one, and they could have unsettled everything. All they needed was to just get one person in the MPP at that time to flip, and that should have lost whatever. But you notice that when it came to her appointment, from the committee level, it was unanimous. Her approval was by bipartisan. Then on the floor, it was unanimously approved. That was the confidence President Mahama personally had in this Chief Justice. That is the level of confidence he had. Why? The grounds in the petition, unless President Mahama is a soothsayer or by way of clairvoyance, how was he going to see that the Chief Justice will conduct herself in that manner? I mean, how? It is just not possible that President Mahama could see into the future, assuming that they claim that, oh, she paid a per diem or so and so for the husband, or as I speak, I've decided I don't want to bother myself with the grounds. Assuming these are the real grounds for which reason these decisions are being taken, guess what? How could President Mahama see into the future to say that her ladyship, the Chief Justice, was going to conduct herself in a particular manner? How was that going to be possible, Alfred? And so, right from the onset, there couldn't have been any issue of politicization until the MPP, busybody, decided to drag themselves into this impeachment conversation. With the press conferences, not only that, they even went as far as organizing a demonstration. Didn't they do it? Look, when I listened to Godfrey Adame on one of the radio stations, makes the point that the lawyers for the petitioners are known NDC lawyers. So, wow. Yes, you can say, and without any equivocation, that my learned senior, Mr. Tsatsu Tikata, is a proud member of my party and he associates with that. But how in God's name do you say Tadio Sorry is an NDC member? Look, I'll tell you this. When I became, in 2008, one of the campaign promises President Mills gave was to find the killers of Issa Mobila, the Northern Regional CPP chairman. You saw the circumstance under which he died. The soldiers, his legs up, tied him up until he died. So it was one of the NDC campaign message in 2008. Well, when we came to power in 2009, President Mills then decided, may his soul rest in peace, to prosecute the people, the perpetrators of that murder. Guess who their lawyer for the accused person was? Mr. Tadio Sorry.
Okay.
The NDC lawyer is the one representing Mr. Sorry, and he made the point that even in Ghana at 50, at that time, my Lord Justice Kulendi was the lawyer for the Ghana at 50 people. He said he assisted them. And many other matters that he's done, including representing Obiamwa.
That's it.
Guess what? Because his people master was Ambrose Derry, the two of them did Malam Issa's case. Malam Issa's case. Yeah, so he is just a lawyer who, once you approach him for legal representation, he's willing and able to. Like you pointed out.
Some will even tell you, if you know Sorry's family, they'll tell you that he's more of MPP. In terms of family. The family.
This man, what's the name? My own brother, Oliver, The things Oliver says about JM or the NDC government, sometimes I wish I can call him and say, my brother Godwin, what's happening? But that's a free-minded Ghanaian. So to suggest that the petitioners are being represented by NDC lawyers is mischievous and deliberate to poison the atmosphere. Now that it has come out that you are the lawyer for the CJ, now suspended, what's your response to that? Then you are all over the place. That, if it's so, then we are guilty by association. It cannot be. At least let us handle these matters in good conscience. I'm surprised that Godfrey says good men should rise up. Today, if good men rise up today, you will lose his license.
Yes.
On what basis?
But the tape is clear. This one, they call it no further inquiry. This type of thing.
One of the,
when you hear it,
it's not conclusive.
It's called no further inquiry. Ask the people who learned this law in America. They'll tell you this one is called no further inquiry. It's too clear. The main thing is that
if today, with respect, good men rise up, as Godfrey is calling good men to rise up, you lose his license.
Yes. Absolutely.
One of the reliefs.
But I had a question, so I was going to answer. So I'll be very brief. Yeah, you pose the question to me and then
yes. Because on.
So my answer, you said Governor Dame said that you know.
He says that argument of the optics is baseless essentially.
Yes.
And without merit,
so the word baseless.
And he references he references what Edigi talked about. That you have some of the petitioners also being represented by persons known affiliates of the NDC. So really, what's the point? And then also the fact that this matter has been politicized already. So he getting into it doesn't hurt the optics as it's at play already.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So even before I go on to the substantive question, please let's note the issue of when Mam was saying is just a moral matter. Please, Article 128 Clause 4 says that a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a justice of the Supreme Court unless he is of high moral character and proven integrity, blah, blah, blah. So the point I want citizens to note is that we've not divorced morality from the law. The two are interwoven, inextricably interwoven.
So when you hear a judge say that what is legally right cannot be necessarily morally right and vice versa. It is not.
There are places. That point is made. As to whether you think it doesn't apply here, that's your opinion. It's fine. Okay. Yes. So now, Governor Dami, the word baseless. Yes, that's what I want to address in a minute. I mean, in view of all the facts we've referred to so far, okay, let me recount briefly. The trial judge telling Fredami, stay away from this trial. Godfrey Dame ignoring her. The things Godfrey Dame has said in the tape, right? Number 3, Godfrey Dame adding ACP Agojo to the treason trial when he himself said there was no evidence against him. Godfrey Dame covering up the second Cecilia Dapa scandal. I'm not surprised he would say that is baseless. The claims are baseless, meaning that he himself, his judgment has always been suspect. Let's repeat what I'm saying. He's saying that the charges against him are baseless. You understand? I'm saying the word.
He says that argument of
optics. That's what I'm saying. Charge. Yes, I'm calling it's called the argument of the optics. It's a charge. People are charging him that the optics look bad. And Godfrey Dame is telling us that argument that the optics are bad for him is baseless. And I'm also making the argument that for a man of his track record, and I've named all the things, right? When he says this is baseless, I'm not surprised because from his own track record, all the things we said, his judgment has always been suspect.
Quickly. Okay. Is it one that you support?
Oh yeah, let's separate. Straight answer is that her waiving of her right would not automatically result in a public hearing. That's the straight answer. Because when you look at the phraseology in Article 146, I think it's Clause 8, it doesn't appear that Yeah, 1468. But did I mention a different?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't appear that it's to protect her alone. No, let's read it. This is what it says. It says, all proceedings under this article shall be held in camera, and the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so from the way it's been phrased, it's not clear that it's only to protect the accused in a way.
Abusuafoɔ ne ahwɛfoɔ emu bi akɔbɛde ba Unidek TV so send the adi kan obedi answer betumi emi subscribe button no so no subscribe na for like na wetumi ahye no wigya comment was ne betumi
It's your boy Captain to the Planet. I'm here to talk to you about Unidek TV. Please subscribe to Unidek TV. Subscribe.